You're welcome back. It's time for What's Up and About. All four hosts here, myself, Titi, and of course Winfrey and Winfrey's dress.
Yeah, Winfrey's dress has a personality of its own today. But it is World Winfrey Day today. Happy birthday once again, Winnie darling. You look glorious.
Thank you.
Now, something that's been trending since Monday is another occurrence, or let's say instance of this case of this issue of sex for grades. And if for those that have probably been living under a rock, there have been allegations held out against the dean of law in UNICAL, that's University of Calabar, and for over alleged sexual harassment. Now, a lot of ladies in UNICAL came out dressed in their white and black to protest against this particular
With very descriptive placards, by
very, very descriptive placards. And they were not holding back, chanting things like, go, go, go. And before women come together with that kind of energy, you know it's probably gotten to a point where the
inquiry here. Now, he was suspended at one time for the same allegation. Are you referring to the same case, or was this another one?
Well, that remains to be seen, as the student in question, her name has been withheld for obvious reasons.
Is there a date to her, to the allegation?
It is very possible there's a date to the allegation, but this was all about the protests. No, I'm here to speak about the fact that the women are actually finally coming out to protest. It's
but
not
what's held them back
just
for so long in any case? I mean, is it a case of where they have protested before, or they have made mentions or made reports and it wasn't taken seriously? And if that's so, why would that ever be a thing? Why would such a serious allegation get to the point where it has to take the form of a protest of all the women coming out?
There's only one word that comes to mind: stigma.
Really?
They just don't want to be stigmatized. Women have been basically silenced for so long in this particular instance, especially when it comes to tertiary institutions. Speaking out against a lecturer most likely means you're not graduating anytime soon. It means that you're going to have a rougher time even if you do graduate. And people just don't want eyes on them. And I just feel like for the first time, we're actually seeing them come together in this manner to actually speak up about it.
It's not the first time, because I mean, when we had the whole situation of sex for grades, that time there was a protest, and even beyond the stigma, right? It is something that is seen as normal in school. So we need to literally talk about that. The fact that even the heads of schools don't see it as a big deal. Do you understand? Once upon a time, there was the song, Mr. Lecturer, I need to pass my papers. Do you understand? Even if it was being played as the girl literally, that literally explained, think of how many years that song, literally, decades, do you understand? So it has been seen as norm, do you understand? In a case like this, most times, as Titi rightly said, if you literally call out a lecturer on things like this, you probably will not graduate, because his whole lecturer board probably gang up against you and all that. And I mean, when the whole sex for grades thing came up, it seemed like it was a great time, because a lot of people, even a lot of schools responded, because the reporter literally went to the length to literally make sure it was a thing. And then even then, it seemed like certain things were curbed, even from, aside the sexual allegations as well, people, even lecturers collecting money to admit students and all of that. But then again, it just seems like there's no proper structure or proper measure being taken out by the schools to make sure these lecturers don't do things like this. So it's just really sad.
What goes on to worry me is the fact that this was the Faculty of Law, where you'd expect that certain tenets would be upheld.
Yeah, and I would say, I will say that because also I went to University of Benin. We heard of certain things happening in certain departments.
Name names, Winfrey. Name names.
There are no names to be named. But then again, certain departments were notorious for this kind of things. I wouldn't say outrightly that it didn't happen in the law department, but I never heard of any case. But I'm sure there were situations whereby people were stigmatized, or rather, people were actually victimized, right? Because I even had friends literally that didn't pass certain courses time and time again because of certain things. But most of the times, it was probably based on lecturers from other departments departments and all of that. But then again, I just think it's wrong. And then there's a situation of, you want to say that thing you said, or should I couch it for you?
Oh, no. I don't want to name names here. Don't want to
there's
tell
a situation of, I mean, fine, as much as, yes, the lecturers, of course, literally put themselves, I mean, in this case, it was an outright case, you ordered her in. And please, if you're in a situation where they order you into their office, please, you have the right to walk away, walk in the opposite direction. There's not, you can actually say no and walk away and all of that.
It is possible to walk away. It is possible to call on other lecturers for advice with a particular...
Female lecturers.
Even female lecturers sometimes
Now, here's the thing. I was going to
Yes.
touch on that, yes. Back in school, I remember cases where we talked about how these instances have been normalized in tertiary institutions. How do I put it now? There were cases where even female lecturers would actually pander to these insinuations. I'm sorry, Titi. To these insinuations of, oh, are you not the one dating Mr. So-and-so? And they will laugh about it. That goes to show how normal it seemed. And then some people were even, it would, in a sense, put on a certain kind of pedestal for their fraternity with
lecturers, exactly.
To show that even they did not even mind these kinds of canoodling or fraternity.
Yeah.
You know, so that's also there to be taken into account if you get what I mean.
There needs to be a proper structure put in place.
There is a law that says you can't date a student, isn't there?
There should be.
There must be.
But then again, I'll outrightly say this, even if a student comes on to you, which is probably what Mazino is trying to say, you can say no, you should say no, as probably the older person, not in all cases, but professionally, based on what you do, based on ethics and literally like practicing your profession, you should actually say no because you know what it would look like, even if it's something else. It's just so sad.
There's so many angles to this conversation that definitely can't be discussed.
He's currently on suspension, isn't he? Let's mention that.
He has been suspended, of course, from duty, but we'd love to hear your opinion on what this topic is about. Use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC and let's hear what you think. We'll be back after this.